This is the Calvin D Project, where we interview interesting people driven to change the trajectories of those they serve through learning, teaching, and writing. I want to thank you for being here. We're pleased to welcome Kim Washington, very special guest out of Dallas, Texas. Make sure you stick around because some of the most powerful content is the advice portion is at the end. So right before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can get more episodes like this one. Kim Washington, I want to thank you for joining the Calvin D Project podcast this week. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm good. Glad to be here.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and your ministry.
I am a Dallas native. Grew up in my uncle's church. Music was always around me. I went to the arts magnet, Booker T. Washington School for the Performing Arts. You know, they've gone through a name change. So in Dallas, music always been an influence. My first memory was being in the kitchen with my dad on a Sunday morning, waiting for my mom to get ready for church so that we could leave out and the radio would be playing. And I'll never forget, they would always play gospel music first. Then at a certain point, they would start playing R&B. And well, my dad was not going to church, so he would start singing, and it was just something about him singing to, just singing the words, and he just had so much joy in it. And I would start singing with him, and the moment that he knew that I could sing, he just started screaming, "Oh my God, she can sing, she can sing." So I think that's when it became a big deal to me that my dad, just noticed that I noticed. Yeah. So, but my mom always kept a piano or some type of musical instrument in the house because she understood. She understood.
How would you describe your sound as an artist?
Wow. I have different vocals. I feel like I'm versatile. I don't know. It's almost like I'm a sponge. Whatever I hear, I can mimic. But that was the hardest thing for me coming up, was knowing what my sound actually was, because I could hear different singers on the radio and just mimic. I would say that after so long, I pretty much settled into the idea of being a praise and worship leader, because that's what I identified with, that I found a passion with that particular genre. That's my flow, basically praise and worship.
Gotcha. You've had the opportunity to study under some of the best praise and worship leaders in gospel music, people like William Murphy, Darwin Hobbs. How did that experience influence you as an artist?
It taught me the etiquette of being on those particular platforms. It was a larger stage, especially being at Bishop Eddie L. Long's church. You just had to quickly understand where you were, what you could do, what you could not do. Man, during that time, Judy McAllister was within our flow as well. And it was just, it was a lot to take in. And when I look back at it all, I'm just so grateful to God that he allowed me to be there at that moment in time and space. William was great. Darwin was great. In Judy's presence, it was just something to behold, and each one of them had their own flows. Yeah. I just appreciate it, and I feel like that I gleaned something from each and every one of them. To this day, with talking with Darwin or William, they still remember that time. It's a fond memory, especially Darwin. He's always like, "God, you're so anointed. You're so anointed and powerful." And I'm just like, wow, that's such a compliment. I am so grateful to God that he allowed me to be around him.
Your song, "I Will," has been TuneCore certified for surpassing 25,000 streams worldwide.
Yeah.
How do you feel when people appreciate the work that you put into that song?
It's pretty amazing. When I saw that, and I think it has gone certified 25,000, like maybe over so many times.
Yeah.
And so when I first saw that, I was like just amazed. When you see people from other countries, the UK and China, and when you see that, really?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So it's just pretty amazing that God's word is going out into the world like that. I just love it. That's what I'm here for. That's what put me here for, is to be a voice and a vehicle for his word. Again, I just appreciate and I'm so grateful to God that people, they're hearing the music and they're gravitating toward it and they're just getting something out of it. And with the message of I will. I'll go, I'll do, I'll be. God, I'll say what you want me to say. It's just self-explanatory. It's like he told us to go into the world and teach the nations and to make disciples. And our thing is to accept the call and the charge and to go. So I just appreciate that. I'm floored by it and I'm honored. I'm honored and I thank God.
When you're at a performance, which of your songs would you say people are asking you to perform the most?
I will.
Yeah.
And also Worth Living For. And I believe the reason why they gravitate toward Worth Living For is because, you know, we have our high points, but then we have our lows. And that song was really written at a point where the suicide rate was up there. And my husband, Don, was just like, man, he was just flowing one day on the keyboard. He was like, life is just worth living. It's worth living for. I just want people to understand that. I just really want them to know that, and I want to encourage the people. And we just started working on that song. That's one of the ones, along with I Will, that people gravitate toward. And I really feel like the newest one, I See It, is going to be another fan, if you will, a fan favorite.
You also did some background vocal work that led to you going on the road with Jennifer Hudson. Tell me more about that experience.
That was surreal. When we first started out, of course, some of the assignments we understood, we knew where we were going, but one part of the assignment we didn't know, and it was purposely kept from us, if you will. She was a surprise guest on Jefferson's All in the Family reboot. The secret had to be kept. But when we found out, of course, it just got, oh my God, but you still can't say anything. But it was just amazing being a part, having that experience with her. She was great. Leading up to that, I've done some work for George Huff because of that relationship. He was like, Sister Kim, I want you to be a part of it. I'm like, okay. He's so funny. And I just appreciate him. Our minds were just blown at everything that was taking place, the people that we were around. I mean, you're in the room with Jimmy Kimmel and Norman Lear and, you know, people like that, and Woody Harrelson. It's like, really? And there were others, and it was just crazy. Jamie Foxx. It was just crazy how that just all came about. Again, I honor God, and I'm so glad that he trusted me to be a part of that process, which was history making. It was God ordained. Like I said, I'm so grateful to God for the opportunities that he afforded me at this time. And I'm so honored that took place. It ended up winning an Emmy, and the production, it was just so amazing. It was all God. It was just all God. He gets all the glory.
I always talk to my guests about having talents that may go beyond the walls of the church. Mm-hmm. It's important to be able to combine your talents and not just pick one or the other. I understand that you're also the CEO of Storytime Child Care and Development Center. How have you been able to combine your talents with your ministry?
I tell people this all of the time. Of course, we're doing business, but childcare is also a ministry. That's where I feel like the lines cross. It's when you come across families that really need that ministry. Mm-hmm. I've never been one to promote my music to my parents, but for some reason, my parents have always entered into that flow. And I'm just like, how did y'all get here? Because I never put it out there like that. And when they find out, it's like, oh my God, Miss Kim. So it's just the kids, there is a, and this may flow into another question, but there is a project that we're working on with our kids. It includes them, they're singing, and, it's just to go out to other children and to encourage the kids because, we've been in the pandemic. There have been times when kids can't be kids. They can't go around other children and just be children and be free to play. And so we just wanted to encourage them and let them know, hey, you can be a kid. We've had the lockdown things going on and yeah, you have to wear a mask sometimes. But you can still be a kid and have a playful spirit. And it's just a simple song that's just encouraging them. And we're working on that now. We are definitely working on it. And the kids know it. And it was inspired just by looking at one of the babies and just singing the song, and it just caught on. So it's a song that would definitely be used as a ministry tool in order to encourage the children. And they will be included. And I'm just excited about what's to come with that. But yes, that will be actually the first time musically that our music, that NoVox music group, will cross into the Storytime Child Care and Development territory. So we're excited about that.
You and your husband decided to build a music studio and produce your own music.
Mm-hmm.
You guys also produce music for other artists?
We have one artist in particular. His name is Tracy Satterwhite, and he is a local artist. The song is entitled Change in Me, and so it's available on all platforms. It's a great song. He have produced for several artists, more so that was genre, of course the gospel genre, but he have produced more of R&B, neo-soul tunes for other artists that are local and artists that are out of state. We just decided that going indie was the best thing. You do have more control, and I hate to say this, but sometimes when you're dealing with the corporates, it can get pretty hairy. You just have more freedom and the way things are now, you have more freedom to move around the country, to be free, to own your own music. It's just the best thing to have that freedom creatively.
What advice would you give to an aspiring artist?
Be consistent, be persistent, push, and don't give up. Just keep it moving. If trials come or money gets funny and change is strange, and you know how they say that, things happen, tap into your other resources, tap into all your resources and push to do it. Don't stop. Don't get discouraged. There are days when I'm like, okay, so why am I doing this again? Why do we do this again? Well, I think everybody has probably asked themselves from time to time, but just keep moving, keep pressing, He have given you that assignment, He have given you that charge. Just keep moving and really just educate yourselves on what it is that you're doing. Don't just be out there and just moving aimlessly about the country, but make sure that your movements are intentional. That's what I would say.
For my audience that wants to connect with you, how do we find you?
They can connect with me on any of the social media platforms by going to Kim Washington Official on any of them, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Kim Washington Official. Just plug it in and go on there. Even on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, like. Yeah, just go on all of the social media platforms and just plug in Kim Washington Official. And if all else fails, there are people that are not on social media. They can always go to my website. It's KimWashingtonOfficial.com. And it's a great site, and there's merchandise there. They can connect with me there as well.
For my audience, make sure you connect with Kim Washington on social media and check out her music. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so you can get more episodes like this one. And thank you again for listening to the Calvin D Project.